We really believe and are committed to finding an experience that's comfortable for any student who wants that to be a part of their Lehigh experience.
And really in the work that I get to do in the Pride Center in partnership with the Study Abroad office, there's a lot of misconceptions, and we're here to really talk about the partnership that we have together with the Study Abroad office to really create the opportunities for all students to study abroad regardless of identity. So you have to think about the country that you're traveling to. What are the laws in place around LGBTQIA plus identities, right? And not only what are the laws, but also what is the culture like?
I think it's also important for students to know that all of Lehigh services are still available to them while they're abroad. We also are really careful in selecting the programs that we work with so that we know that they have a support structure that we're comfortable with, so that students also have someone on the ground that they can go to if there's a problem or a question.
So I studied abroad in undergrad through the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, and I went to France for a semester. A lot of people say they changed a lot when they've gone abroad. For me, it was more of everything I did solidified who I was. It wasn't until I was living in a completely different culture with different expectations for gender roles and gender norms that I had sufficient shifting in lens to understand how I fit in my own culture. Especially for students who are part of the LGBT community in any way, something that's important to look for is resources. I ended up going to an LGBT film festival and reached out to some other non-binary folks in France. Don't be afraid to go meet people in our community.
So I studied abroad for a semester in Senegal and for a few weeks in Cambodia with global citizenship and during the Lehigh Ngata program. So it was a little different for me because being a queer person but also being cisgender and generally feminine, it was pretty easy to go undetected, that part of myself. But it was also difficult always being on edge about trying to hide it. So I stayed in contact with Chelsea and Scott. So when I got there and I was struggling with having to hide that part of myself that I'm used to being pretty expressive about, it was really difficult, but I reached out to them and they actually sent me a package of really lovely letters. I would say definitely stay connected to those networks of support back home, because sometimes you may not think that it's necessary, but it can be really helpful in your experience. And also try to reach out to program directors and people that might be sympathetic too, because people who are from that culture and can also do a lot to help you understand other people's reactions. I would say if people have the opportunity to go abroad, definitely take safety into consideration, but also if I would definitely check out places that think really differently. I think that most study abroad students go to Europe and other places that are more similar to the US. I think that it's really cool to go off the traditional way of going and studying abroad.
I started with the Green program, which is a short-term study abroad program in Iceland, and then from there I got to go with the university choir to Spain, and then got to go to Cambodia with Mountaintop, and then got to spend a semester abroad in Denmark. And all those experiences really got me to access different parts of my interests. Before I left, I kept in contact with the Pride Center, and then I was able to video chat with them while I was there, and they sent me a care package. And then when I came back, of course, they were really excited and supportive of me. I would say coming back, it feels like I'm an old person. I'm a new person stepping into an old dream for the first time, because I feel like I had changed a lot over the past 8 months, just becoming more confident in myself, becoming more firm to my interests for sure, and becoming an overall more adventurous person. I guess this specifically for LGBTQ plus students, make sure you know the laws of wherever you're traveling, and hopefully you won't feel like you have to repress any part of your identity in your travels, because each one of you is a beautiful person,